I'm going to go over a solution for question 5 from today's lesson on geometric series. Okay, so we're told that the sum of the first two terms of a geometric series, okay, is equal to 23 3/4. Alright, and then we're also told that the sum of the first four terms of a geometric series is 40 5/8, and we're asked to find the first term and the common ratio. So we know that we have a formula for finding the sum of the first n terms, and that's the formula you were given today, and it appears on your formula sheet. Okay, so let's write this information down using the formula. Okay, 23 3/4 is the same as 95/4, so we've got 95/4 is equal to a 1 minus r to the, it's two terms, so r squared over 1 minus r. And then for the second bit of information, let's see, 40 and 40 5/8 is the same as 325/8. Okay, so that will be a 1 minus r to the power of 4 over 1 minus r. Right, so we have some simultaneous equations here. Okay, and we have got two unknowns and two equations, so we know we can solve it. When you have met simultaneous equations before, especially with the arithmetic series, you could just add or subtract the equations to eliminate one of the variables. When you have a geometric series, as you may have noticed with your nth terms, you would divide to eliminate one of the letters. So we are simply going to divide the first equation by the second equation. So we're going to do 95/4 divided by 325/8. So 95/4 divided by 325/8 gives us 38/65. Okay, now here, if we're dividing these fractions, we can look for common terms that we can cancel. So we can cancel a with a, and we can cancel 1 minus r with 1 minus r, because these are multipliers. It's just equivalent to having, if you had 12/5 over 16/5, that's the same as 3 times 4 over 5 over 4 times 4 over 5. The 2/5 by multiplying top and bottom by 5, you'd be able to cancel the 4's because you could divide top and bottom by 4, and you'd be left with 3/4. So, okay, so here we are. We've got something a little simpler now. So we know that 38/65 is the same as 1 minus r squared over 1 minus r to the power of 4. Okay, so we don't like having denominators in our equations. Let's multiply through by 65 and by 1 minus r to the 4. Okay, and expanding the brackets. Okay, and now we can rearrange the equation into a convenient format. So we have a nice quartic here. I'm going to set it equal to 0, and I'm going to move my highest power to make it positive. So I'm going to add 38r to the 4, and then I'll need to do 65 take away 38, that's 27. Okay, we can solve that on your calculator. So you can either do it in your equation editor, and just bear in mind you'll pick a quartic and you'll have to have coefficients of 0 for r cubed and 0 for r. Or in run mode you can press options and calc and then solve n, and we're going to type that equation in. So I've got 0 equals, which is shift full stop, and then 38, I'll just use x to the power 4, Okay, minus 65x squared plus 27. I have to tell it what the variable is called, and it's called x. Alright, it always warns us of extra solutions. So this would give us r is -1, negative 3 root 114 over 38, positive 3 root 114 over 38, or 1. Now we know that our summation formula only works when we don't have 1 or minus 1. So we can ignore those ones. Okay, and we're going to keep these two options here. Now on the solutions, we should have got plus or minus root 27 over 38, and this is exactly equivalent. They're both the same as 0.843. Okay, so that gives us r. And now we need to find a. So we simply choose our favourite of the equations that we had out of this one or this one. So I'm going to go with that one because it's only got r squared in it. So I know that 95, let's move this down so you can see, 95 over 4 is equal to a times 1 minus, and then I've got, let's do the negative one first, negative root 27 over 38 squared, all over 1 minus negative root 27 over 38. Okay, so if I want to find a, I'm going to need to do 95 over 4 multiplied by this denominator and divided by that. I'm just going to do that on my calculator. Okay, so I've got 95 quarters. Okay, and I'm going to multiply that by 1 take away negative root 27 over 38, and then divided by 1 take away brackets negative root 27 over 38. Okay, end brackets, square it, end some more brackets. Okay, so that gives us that a is equal to 151.2 when r equals negative root 27 over 38. And we do exactly the same, but using positive 27 over 38. So we'll try this one. 95 over 4 is going to equal a 1 minus root 27 over 38 squared, which we know would just get rid of the square root, 1 minus root 27 over 38. So we do the same thing, 95 quarters multiplied by the denominator divided by this bracket here. So I will just go back up into what I worked out and just get rid of the negative sign. Okay, there we go. A is equal to 12.9 when r is equal to positive 27 over 38, and those are the correct answers.